How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Q&A. Today we're joined with Matt K.
Hello.
Mod West. Hello. Rip. Mod Wolf.
Hello.
Mod Kieran.
Yo.
Myself, Mod Archie.
That was not funny.
Anybody feel... I never ask you guys beforehand to memorize, but does anybody want to run through today's updates?
Mod Wolf.
Today, if you watched the live stream last night, the community stream with me and Ash, we released the bank pin being remembered over logout. That was a pretty requested one. The clicking through pets. So now you can toggle whether or not when you left-click your pet, it'll just go straight through it. So it repositions the orders, which was pretty nice. Herbs and clue scrolls are now dropped above bones, so you can simply left-click, pick those up. Lots and lots of quality of life. We also extended the motherload mine timer slightly for the ore. That was requested last week and a little bit before then as well, when we changed it. So those are some of the big ones. There was a lot of patch notes. There was a lot.
Been a big jump for you this week, hasn't it?
There was a lot of stuff to do. But
we ended the Fight Caves competition.
Yes.
Yeah, the Fight Caves competition. Dead Wilson ended up taking it with only several hours left.
Yep.
Ended up beating Wooks' time by 15 seconds.
Got exactly
crazy.
24 minutes.
Yeah, so he wins himself this Dragon Scimitar. Would you like to display the special attack, maybe? Yeah, that's
I demonstrated the Dragon Claw special attack. The Dragon Sim is a bit more boring.
Yeah, he's got it down. He just went all over the place.
Yeah, all the players are down.
He also won himself a year's membership, so it was a nice little random competition. We felt like running.
I remember him saying he thinks that sub 24 minutes is possible. Didn't achieve it. Spot on 24. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, yeah, we're thinking about doing different competitions like this in the future. Of course, the first idea is to say fastest raids time, but we would have to pick size of the team, and
there's a lot more RNG in a raid. I think
we've got another cool piece of weaponry like that isn't real weaponry, by the way. It's like foam, dragon claws. So we can give those away.
Why are you bending it? Don't break it.
It's made of real dragon metal, Chris. You've ruined the illusion.
That being said, let's go into the questions then. First one is from Flurm, who says, "Could we please add the rune pouch as a reward from the mage training arena?"
I like that.
No, the problem is, it would be like I think that it should be obtainable outside of Bounty Hunter. But what else do you get from Bounty Hunter that would make you turn in your tokens, like your emblems even?
There's not much really.
So if you take that away from that content,
yeah.
What do you do then? Like you need something to replace that, surely. Like I'm not saying it's not a good idea, but
it's easy enough to obviously plug into Major Reader. That would not be the issue. It is making Bounty Hunter still valuable. But now that we've made Tier 1 emblems tradable in the GE, it really shouldn't be too much of an issue if you want to go and get the Bounty Hunter pouch.
Yeah, I think
you can just go and buy them and get it.
I don't think it takes too much away from Bounty Hunter. I mean, yes, it is the main thing that people will do it for, but it's not necessarily the only reason. For example, I don't even remember that I have so many points. I don't end up buying anything, so I don't know. If we can think of something else to throw in there to make that shop a little bit nicer, though, that would be ideal. Something other than just alchables. But it's a good idea. Razor Edge says, "Could we please keep our beefed up arms when wearing armor? I hate seeing my massive RuneScape pipes disappear when I equip Void, Rhinos, and Torso."
That's a problem for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. I assume it's just setting a default arm model.
Yeah, it reverts you to these normal, skinnier arms.
There's definitely an arm model that can be used with plate bodies. I don't know if, I think there's not one for bicep, big guns, so, yeah.
Would you have to remake all the existing models?
No, because the arms are added separately.
Okay.
So it's just the devs plugging it in.
Sounds like a toggle to me.
Please don't.
don't toggle my buff arms.
Okay. So it is doable then?
Yeah, for sure.
It wouldn't take too much of your time?
I think it would take more dev time because they'd have to figure out whether you've got the buff arms and then keep them when you put on the torso.
I mean, it's like a meme almost, but
it
sounds like people would probably vote yes for it.
It's a big trawling through the code base job.
If we pulled it, I think it would pass.
Do you want your pipes?
Yeah. All right. Rig says, "Will you please make the max cape function as the holy wrench in your inventory?"
We can do, yeah.
We have a skill kit poll coming soon. I guess it fits in, max kit fits in with that.
Yep, we fit
Sure, we
perfectly
can
in
call
with that.
Easy enough. Bulbasaur says, "With today's update allowing players to save bank pin on World Hop, will IP spoofing be an issue?"
So when testing this, It does, of course, remember your IP to make sure that you're logging in with that same address. It also, as you know, only lasts for 5 minutes. But it does also remember the PC that you're on. So if Matt had a laptop and I had my PC and I logged into Matt's laptop within that 5-minute period, it would still ask me for my bank PIN. It knows I'm on a different computer. So it does track that as well.
Bonus. We are grabbing questions from the chat, by the way, guys. Monmaz is grabbing them. So she's grabbed a few for us already. Dominic says, question for Matt or Lottie. Can we have some gold sync stats, like last man standing or blast furnace?
We do track them every day. In fact, there's a thing on the world error logs, which tells you how much gold's gone in and out of game and where it's gone in and out of game from. So we probably could do that quite easily.
I believe
Don't know what they are off the top of my head. But
we've released last man standing before.
yeah.
Easy enough to calculate how much gold is sunk because we tell people how many games were played. As for the blast furnace, that sounds interesting.
Yeah,
Good
but
idea.
we have it tracked by wealth lost in different things. I'm not exactly sure what's in there,
Okay.
but that is tracked, so we can find it.
Maybe we can tell them an updated number of how many of the coin stacks in Player has been placed.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah. Technician says, is Fossil Island or Inferno going to come first?
Ooh.
I
They
think
actually- we actually just swapped the order of them.
Oh, no.
Oh, you can't tell them that. Oh.
Oh,
But Inferno is going to be first.
okay. Good.
Everybody thinks, you know how everybody thought it was like conspiracy theory having the JAD competition?
Yeah.
They're doing the JAD competition so they can find out how difficult to make the Inferno. We did that competition, and almost a day or two after, that was when we we're doing Inferno first.
The JAD competition was me looking at that Dragon Scimitar and saying, how can I give that away? Because it's pretty cool and we can do something with it.
Yeah,
and
it's-
I thought speedrunning JAD sounds fun.
It was a complete coincidence, though.
It was fun. Made for a really nice competition. I did tweet out the top 10 fastest times. Thank you, Mod Lottie, for that info. But it was really cool. All right. Bellatrix says, can we remove the unfinished black areas surrounding Zaya?
They'll be replaced when we finish them. Basically, I mean, right there, they're now. We could go and finish the coastline, but finishing the coastline is actually a mammoth job to actually put that on down.
I'd rather that be black space there instead of there just being a coastline. Then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
no, there was some land there all along. At least there's like a reason it's been hidden or something.
I'd rather if we were going to put something there, if we could kind of put like a coastline or maybe like a forest with just trees covering it. So you can't see past, you can't move past, but it does kind of hint that there is something beyond because you can kind of see through the trees.
Yeah.
And then eventually we make an update and they have to chop their way through the forest or what have you.
We have to hope that there's going to be a forest there. Not
I
something
mean
completely
that's the
different.
thing, is having natural ways to block terrain is the next side of it. I mean, mountains is a great way of doing it, which we've done in the past many times.
Yeah.
But sometimes a black space is just as good.
Didn't you say
Yeah.
you've had something at the bottom of Zaya, like a bridge that went into nowhere? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's a cool idea. See, if
But
we then put
it goes
content
into
there-
literally just blank space. So
Yeah.
Yeah, a broken bridge, and then
I was gonna-
to access it, you can get them to rebuild the bridge when the time's right.
I was going to expand it more, but being as we're not entirely sure what's going to be exactly to the south, it could be any sort of biome. I thought I'd just leave it vague.
All right.
I'm thinking desert.
Oh, Chris, look at that.
Yeah,
A
we just had
newsflash statistic.
News flash. Let's get right into the news.
Breaking news.
2.5,088,154 raids deaths as of now.
What a
There
death.
you go. My best Keemstar impression.
Yeah.
This next question, I believe, might have an image. Suggestion to add ping to world selection. Don't really need an image for this. It's just adding in numbers next to the worlds.
Have we done that? Did RuneScape do that in the past? I vaguely remember they did.
Yeah.
They have. I believe it would require engine work to make that number available to us to display it on the interface. But assuming we could get that engine support, it seems like it makes a lot of sense to add that.
I'd really like that. It'd be really good.
Okay. Beat says, can the fee to enter the Brimhaven dungeon be removed with completion of the Karam Jahar diary? Or what about removing the axe requirement to enter or simply spawning an axe nearby? He just says it's annoying to get access to.
Yeah,
The Brimhaven dungeon.
Yeah, because you need coins and the axe, right?
yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
that guy could. That guy's got to think you're star of the local area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the suggestion. So I think Yeah, that guy can see. You know this place. You've been here before. You know what you're doing. I'll let you in for free. I think that's fair.
New quest where you just kill him.
Or we could do it so that you can pay each time you enter or a larger sum for a one-off payment to get access to it.
I like
That's the
what
other
you
way
did.
of doing it.
Yeah.
There was an idea a few weeks ago saying just put a coffer there.
Yeah,
and
that.
just take from that.
As soon as like people get that one bag space, it's so
Yeah.
precious to them.
So important, that 20 extra health from my shark. We recently did it with Ector tokens, though, and that was a player suggestion from the stream a couple of weeks ago where spend 500 Ector tokens, you will definitely, you never have to pay to go to Dragon Tooth ever again. I actually think that's coming out next week, to be honest with you.
Coffer escape.
So there you go.
I prefer the diaries.
I do prefer the diary.
Alfie Rolls, not Alfie Rolls, says, can the herb sack be reworked to accept clean herbs?
Probably. Ask a developer.
Kieran?
Kieran.
I mean, it can,
It
but
could be reworked to do anything you please.
you can put in buckets of sand if you really want to. But
Obviously, the main idea was you pick up those Grammy herbs on a sled task and put them in. It's obviously why it was done that way originally. It could be done if there's a point in doing it.
yeah, I mean, you pick up the Grammy herb anywhere. I guess you might accidentally click it and clean it, and then you're like, oh, damn it, I can't put it inside my herb sack. But, nah.
Okay.
Seems odd.
Well, he's got a follow-up one saying, can the guy at Narda clean noted herbs?
Pieces of paper.
Sorry?
They're pieces of paper.
They're pieces of paper. That
Yeah,
needs to
that
make
makes
sense.
sense,
This
yeah.
is RuneScape after all.
You don't want to break the immersion on you.
Yeah, because
herb cleaning, yeah.
we always keep the immersion when you play.
How can you clean the herbs if it's on a piece of paper? Yeah.
How can you have 1,000 things in a piece of paper?
Like we got our 5 note of Winston Churchill on. You hand that to someone and say clean Winston Churchill.
Yeah.
You can't do
Can you
that.
cut his hair?
Well, no,
please?
because there isn't 1,000 of him in the paper.
How do you carry 2.14 billion purple sweets, but
How
only
do you eat
10
an entire
sharks?
shark in
Yeah,
one bite?
Yeah.
breaking the immersion all the time.
I still have this image of somebody trying to cram 28 sharks into one backpack, which is invisible, by the way, an invisible backpack.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh.
Or is it their pockets, which have really big pockets in game? Even if you're wearing those really short shorts you get from the dwarf place.
Does the decant, or sorry, not the decant, yeah, actually, the decanter, he decants noted potions. Therefore,
Yeah, but
this
that's
kind of makes
he's
sense.
trading different pieces of paper with you.
No.
I'm trying to think.
He's essentially a banker and he has access to the certifications.
This is so rubbish.
Or what he's doing is if he's either colouring in the potion or rubbing out part of the
Yeah,
potion,
yeah.
sending orders.
Okay.
Wait.
Fortune
This guy
documents.
is connected with the powers of the Dark Altar.
I'm sorry we named this question. Okay,
I think this has gone nowhere, isn't it?
So yeah,
let's say yes or no. Can the guy at Narda clean noted herbs?
For a price?
For a price. I like it.
Does any XP
Anybody
go in? I
disagree?
assume XP doesn't go anywhere if
No.
it does it. No.
No.
Okay, that's the only worry really, isn't it?
Okay.
Would it increase the amount of unnoted herbs in game because it's a lot easier to suddenly clean them if you're not doing it one by one,
They're not
Might well
difficult
be.
to clean.
which may have another impact going on.
let's go with
saying no.
let's go with
The
no.
answer seems to be
Let's
no
go with
anyway,
no.
so
Oh, all right. If the community wants it, well, they don't. Can a feature for Slayer be added to allow you to buy a specific monster task for X points?
Oh.
that's a tough one, isn't it?
We have a Slayer poll, but I really don't think that would ever pass. I wouldn't want to offer it.
How many points?
Can you imagine? Okay, if you can purchase a task, you're only going to pick Smoke Devils, aren't you?
I don't like this feature whatsoever.
I hate it. Thank you.
It goes against what Solar is in that
Yeah,
you
it
don't get
does.
to choose what you do.
I also
You can sit and
dislike
cancel your
this
tasks
idea.
and try and get it, but
Yeah, like you have
It's a
your
terrible
blocks
idea, Alfie. How could you?
and use them, like essentially.
who suggested that?
No.
So,
You're going to ban them after the stream.
2147M says, could an item that accepts necklaces of binding be looked at into similar to how the Ring of Suffering holds recoils?
Yeah, I like this idea. There's room for this content. In a necklace that's a bit more expensive, so you spend a few mil on it and then you can load it up with the necklaces. Something like that.
Yeah.
Where it comes from is a good question. What it is, yeah. I like it though.
Okay. Something we can look into. Pity says, it would be nice if when you repair your rune pouch with NPC contact, it would stay in the same inventory spot instead of moving to the top of your inventory.
It would indeed be nice, and that can be changed.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't a question. You were just saying it'd be nice.
Sorry for answering it, Chris.
Galaxy says, currently the only way to make money through farming is herb patches. It would be nice to see, again, it would be nice to see new higher level allotments, flowers, and bush plants for those high level runs. So he has a suggestion here. It says, allotments, pumpkins. They take limports to protect, can be carved to create jack-o'-lanterns for a play-around house, can be cooked to make pumpkin pie, and possibly with a very high cooking level, can take out and bake the seeds to create a stackable but very low healing source of pumpkin seeds. Sounds like purple sweets.
Oh yeah, I was going to say that's maybe. I love how whenever players suggest something, they suggest the weaker part of it at the beginning, and they slowly build up to the more broken part of it. So everybody's like, "Oh, it's a really good idea, yeah," and they just forget about the last bit. That's like, "Yeah, let's just have stackable purple sweets."
Okay, jack-o'-lantern and growing pumpkins though.
With that, like, you get pumpkins from the Halloween event.
You can't do anything with them.
They're wearable.
No, the novel ones.
Oh no. Okay. Yes.
So we would have pumpkins, but it would be cool if you could grow them.
Maybe it's a different sort of pumpkin.
It would look
giant
pretty
pumpkin
cool
or
in a
something
farming
like that.
patch.
They're projectiles.
They would look cool. And the allotment patch, yeah.
Pumpkin pie's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, allotment.
Pumpkin pie?
Yeah, I like pumpkin
It
pie.
fits in the game.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
How much does it heal?
How much does it heal exactly?
Yeah, that'd be quite.
Which spice would you use?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Gnome spice or regular.
Knowing
I would
RuneScape can be next to
use
something weird
the
like
spice you find on Reddit on a regular basis.
wow. Spicy memes. Make them with me.
I find it's normally salt.
Yeah, there's a lot of salt.
That was good. I'll give it to you. He has a follow-up question. Okay, so I actually like that idea. Maybe we can expand into that. So he says, bush being blueberry bush or blackberry bush, both may take hops to protect, can be used individually to make pies of higher tiers, as well as mixing red berry, white berry, and blueberries and blackberries into a berry medley pie or bowl.
What would the berry medley pie do?
Just one of these things.
He hasn't given those. He just wants
You know what this edition needs? It needs an
It
image.
needs an image with yellow text and a black background, and you sorted.
It'd be good if it was red, white, and blue pie, and it was Patriots pie.
You see, this all boils down to
No.
the same issue we have time and time again. I think we have a great idea for a bit of content, which seems to make a lot of sense. And it boils down to what's the reward? We could make anything of many, many exciting types of things,
About-
but what's the reward? So what are the pies going to do? Is there suddenly a different stat boosting pie on it, or does it combine with something else so you can cure poison with it? Or does it cure poison and give health and boost your herb lore by 3? Whether it's that end result, which is always the problem we always hit.
There's been the idea of a farming expansion going around for a while, and it's just a matter of finding a good time to look at doing it. And what would the rewards be is the hardest part.
That's the hardest part of anything we make. When you talk about,
It's easy to say we're going to
the
make a new
Inferno.
boss.
Yeah. And the Inferno is actually quite is probably an easy one for us to answer, because the obvious answer for what the reward should be would be new Firegate. But then any other sort of content, the reward is always the big sticking point. It's got to be better than what we have, or different to what we have, but it can't be significantly better than what we've got. So it's really fun.
Raids in particular, everyone wanted raids. We were doing raids. It took months to get good rewards through a pull.
Yeah.
Well, I'm seeing some moving on in the chat. Chat. Alan says, with raids, is it based on loot potential? Because it doesn't seem to cater to whoever has the most points.
It does. I don't know what his personal luck's been, but the person in the team who has the most points is the most likely to get the individual drop.
Okay. Thanks says, with Trouble Brewing, can we have the ability to auto-deposit any resource into the hoppers?
I suppose the problem with Trouble Brewing is that I assume it's no popular than it was a year ago.
Have you ever played Trouble Brewing?
I really quite enjoyed Trouble Brewing, but nobody plays it. And we tried, 3 years ago now, to come up with ways to enhance it and make it better, and they all failed poll.
Isn't the problem
And
with
never
rewards?
happened.
Rewards
It
aren't
needs
great.
rewards.
Yeah, it needs. Yeah, exactly. So it's but as a game in itself, it's quite fun. But again, it's a group game, so you need 2 groups of people to play it on opposing sides.
Inherently, I think the way to target it is to buff brewing and make
Yeah.
brewing not
Yeah.
awful.
We do want to do an entire minigame rework, maybe dedicate an entire poll to it. It's obviously take a lot of time, but I think we could certainly throw this on that when it does go live.
I think one of the big things with brewing is making the stuff make mature ale all the time and not just at an increased chance. Things like that. The stuff takes a long time to grow, and the code right now is not easy to deal with. It's basically farming code, but worse. Essentially, is what it is.
You make it explosive.
Explosive beer.
So you make beer, you then refine the beer in a still. That makes whiskey, obviously, and you refine it again. It turns into an explosive, and then we've got an explosive weapon.
And you coat a carnivorous gin jumper.
Yeah,
and it only takes 18 hours to brew.
Yeah. There you go. Make weapons out of brewing.
Mini games as a whole could do with quality of life.
Yeah, they need quite a bit of love.
Rar says, can the player-owned house walls be graphically updated? They are really quite bland as they are.
More walls or?
Updated walls.
Updated
Not
walls.
more walls, just better-looking walls.
Yeah.
I would add more walls rather than updating the existing ones.
Yeah, because you can just change them.
That's a reward, isn't it? So,
Okay.
people might like. It'd be nice to get one with, like we did for Halloween when we gave away the walls of Thingy's house, Death's house.
But that's more complicated because I think you mentioned, I'm not sure we have the space to add more walls right now.
The problem with changing assets is some people might like them the way they are.
Yeah.
So then you might be pleasing one person with changing them, but then you might be upsetting a load of other people. So yeah.
Much better for us adding
Who's
new
getting
ones.
upset when their bland walls are changed into not bland walls?
Boring people.
Who needs them? Alex says, please add a 94 mage spell on normal spellbook that freezes a player for 15 seconds regardless of overhead prayers.
Normal.
Yeah, so the problem right now with normal is Entangle being the best freeze spell. Firstly, takes a lot of runes. It's expensive. Secondly, deals no damage like ones. Thirdly, if they're praying mage, the freeze is halved.
Oh.
So it's terrible. So realistically,
Isn't that a trade-off between that and Ancients then, isn't it?
no, there's no...
It seems a bit iffy.
What's your
to me.
opinion?
Personally,
Anything
I
that
think
helps people die quicker, and Chris is for it, so.
for dead men, true. But for dead men, I think this would be a better place for a change like this. And perhaps based on reception there, could potentially move it to live game. But that is the problem really with dead men is if you're not on Ancients, you simply can't PK. Well, you can, but you know. As for the normal spell book, so realistically, nobody really PKs with it. This would make it certainly more viable. Again, it still deals no damage. It's not like it's going to compete with Barrage by any means. But it would make it a little bit more viable.
So no?
Well, again, I would say if we were to pull this, I'd say pull it for Deadman.
Cool.
Or simply add it in Deadman and see how it goes. But it'd be interesting to see, be interested rather to see what the community thinks of this, aside from just Twitch chat. All right. Peter says, Eternal Ring of Life, ? So follow up to this.
You never die.
Saying potentially infused with a Zenite or Onyx, comparable to that of the Ring of Suffering.
So essentially, it's like a ring of life that doesn't break when it's used.
Yes.
Don't see why not.
That's the thing, is I couldn't really think of a reason why not either.
Don't see why not. It doesn't seem that
necessary.
useful
Probably
because
going to be an expensive ring, and
you don't really sit and use charges with it like you do rings of recoil.
Yeah.
You would use it and you go back to a bank anyway.
I mean, it works for like AFKers.
But no, because you're going to be teleported anywhere near a bank where you'll pick one back up again.
Sorry?
Like if
Right, but if you don't
We already
feel
have one.
picking another one back, I don't know.
if you're so lazy, you really can't be bothered. Well, you're going to drop off at the bank anyway to heal up as well.
The
We're
defense
saying
kit.
defense
Yeah, the
but
defense
that's
kit's
implying
fine.
Everybody has
Also,
99 defense
you're more likely
and
to-
wants to wear that cape.
You're more likely to get Ring of Life out, and then on the way back to the bank, get Ring of Life again.
Oh, for poison. Who do that?
I know. Don't know.
That's a good
Oh,
question.
Hardcore Endman recently died, actually.
That's what we were referring
Was
to.
that who
That was the suggestion.
he
he put the ring on there.
Yeah, that was so painful to watch.
To answer the question, I think I'm in agreement that it's not needed.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a bad idea, but yeah. Extra Gum 69 says, why can't we see more textures like the one on the fire cape?
You want to keep it special, don't you? Like, Surely you don't want every cape to have an animated texture, otherwise the fire cape loses its... I mean, obviously it's still best in slot, but it's...
They also really only work on capes. Anything else is just going to look quite naff. They need like a good flat poly to work on. Most pieces of armour have lots of smaller polys. So.
Where else do we have textures in game?
There's one on the special stats for
One on
those
the
little
what?
orbs, isn't there?
Oh yeah, you can't even tell that's there though most of the time.
Yeah, you can barely tell it's
When
moving.
you zoomed out, it just
I
looks
think it's on
orange.
the
We
lava
at one
whip and the
time
ice
spoke
whip as
of
well.
offering a fire cape carpet in your player-owned house. It's like a rug.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
What would it
Offer 20
require?
fire capes and your whole floor was just fire cape.
I actually like that.
Why didn't we do that?
Why did we do that?
Why didn't we do that?
Fire cape curtains for all the windows inside the house.
We have them on trees, don't we?
Firehouse.
Textures on magic trees.
Yeah.
That's a texture for the little thing
Kind
dropping
of,
down.
yeah.
We-
Waterfalls as well.
We have a lot of hidden textures, like a lot of storm. I think Lumbridge Castle is like...
Yeah,
got
that's all texture.
Yeah, but they're not... Our textures... I don't like textures in our game. that
You've
often.
had this idea for a fire cape carpet, and we didn't do it. We need to add that.
Okay.
You can imagine this rug with a little rim around the edge, and then the rest is just flowing lava across the middle.
So I'm working really hard
That's
to
great.
decide whether Twitch chat is memeing or if they actually want that.
I think that it's a little bit of both.
If someone
Which
can look
means
up
it-
like a
do you want-
concept
Right
on
in our
Reddit.
game.
Can we
Beautiful.
straw poll it?
I think we can. Would you like the ability? Would you like the ability
Floor
to
is lava.
sacrifice, let's say, many fire capes for a fire cape carpet in your player-owned house?
The fur surrounding the thing could be
number-
made out of the Jad pet.
Will be decided.
Pretty good.
You'd have to sacrifice your Jad pet too.
You have to upgrade. Maybe not that.
Your Jad pet.
Oh
for
my god. He's not really. Okay. 10 fire capes? I was thinking 20. I don't know.
I was thinking 4. They're pretty big, aren't they?
4? No.
They're big. A rug.
4?
Think of how big a rug is.
You need one for each square that the rug fills.
Oh, okay. All right. Then that makes more
So,
sense.
9, 4. Maybe you can have different sizes. You sacrifice 4 for a 4 square one, 9 for a 9 square one, 16 for.
And you can have
4x4.
your peasant fire cape rug with one tile.
Yeah, it's just a singular tile. The more you add to it, the bigger it gets. Okay, that makes sense.
We've got a straw poll in the chat, guys. Go ahead and have your say.
Should we also be able to trade them in for wallpaper so you can actually have a completely fired house?
Oh my god.
It's going to be lava everywhere.
My eyes are bleeding.
People like the fire cape, so here's some fire.
What about the portal? Replace, your player-owned house portal, like to enter it. Fire portal.
If we ever, for some reason, have a Tsar teleport, it would have to be that, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so 85% have said yes, I want my floor lava.
You're all strange.
We have the space to add these things.
We
to
can
hotspots
do
now.
it.
All right, well,
We
I'm gonna
can
make a
do
note of it, and it'll be offered to you at some point. Fire floor is what I've got.
That's a
There you go.
commitment right there.
Kay Kona says, how will the Inferno's environment be redesigned, or designed rather? Will it be the same floor style as the current Tsar area?
I expect that Mod Ghost is going to go for something different. I personally am not a fan of the flooring in the Tsar area and the fight caves.
It's quite
You like
iconic. Like,
I think it's good for that area.
Yeah.
Because you see it and you definitely know where that is. So I'd like to keep it so you wouldn't get confused between the new area and the old area. But again, it's up to Mod Ghost. So.
yeah.
Yeah, it's basically up to Mod Ghost, but I don't think he's going to go with a similar.
Oh, I said Kay
Floor
Kona,
thing.
and that's the call for Mod Rock.
Yeah. Brother
Wherever he was in the
Kekona.
world, he's like, "What? Being called.
But that said, it's the inside of a volcano
Right.
where the Inferno will be situated, so you can expect something in the similar vein, right?
Oh yeah,
of
there'll be
Be
dark
fire.
rock and
dark rocks, reddish colours, and
I've never been inside a volcano, so are the rocks actually dark in a volcano?
Yes. Obsidian.
Yeah, no, obsidian, is a glass which is superheated sort of thing. But is the rock actually right? I mean, some is. Yeah. When I saw it in a Doctor Who episode, it didn't look very dark.
Oh, well, that must be true.
that well-known scientific
But
journal.
I wouldn't necessarily equate dark rock with volcanoes.
We'll send Mod Ghost on an expedition to the
You know what?
inside of a
Now
volcano.
that I
No, you
think
say
about
that.
it.
I did go into a volcano once. I went to one, and there's one in Tenerife. Very cold. It was flat.
Nice.
I still
Not
done one,
many years
actually.
ago.
Yeah, I still done one in Fuerteventura.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sorry, I've contributed to the boring story.
So, apologise.
Moving on.
Oh, now Maz has Googled images and put them on the screen in front of us just to prove a point.
And there are not many dark pictures of rocks on that.
Sorry, Chris, please do continue.
Hey, there's the fight caves.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, moving on.
There we go.
Adidas says, as you've already mentioned, you'd like to
Sorry.
offer...
It's Adidas.
Wait, Adidas. You cannot get away with this.
This Q&A won't end if we start this conversation. Okay, Adidas says, as you've already mentioned, you'd like to offer the Inferno and Fossil Island later this year. Are there any other big updates you'd like to offer if you had the extra time?
Loads.
Yeah.
Loads.
Yeah. There's 100 million things that we could do. Isn't
Big, massive updates, though.
Yeah, like Farming Guild, I really want to do, but I don't know if we'll have time to do it this year.
I'd love to add a quest every month.
Yeah, a quest every month.
Yeah, I'd like to do Desert Treasure 2. Would be a good one to do.
Oh, that'd be really good.
I'd also like to do replaying quests, so you can redo quests again and get a timer in game and a high score, so you can actually do speed runs of quests and things.
Let's say,
I don't think that's necessarily off the cards, that one.
Exactly.
I want Desert Treasure 2 to unlock Menaphos is what I'd like to do.
Seems logical, doesn't it?
And then...
I'd also like to do, when me and Ash were talking about Prophetidinus, what we could do in there and how the city would look if the seed was still a seed. You had to go inside the seed, that sort of stuff.
It's still in like quest.
Do you know what I'm asking myself now?
yeah.
When I upload this to YouTube, I usually put the interesting topics we talked about in the title.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Desert Treasure 2. It's going to get all of the clicks. And when did they say they're doing Desert Treasure 2?
But yes, quest speedruns, I think we can do it via the tournament worlds. So you imagine you log onto the tournament worlds, you get something in your inventory, or there's the table you can click on, and you click on it, it brings up a whole list of all the quests. You click it, it teleports you to the quest start with all the quest items in your bank, that thing. It tries to set you up conveniently for the quest. The timer would start when you start the quest, but you'll have time before that to organise however you want to, and you go from there. I mean, I'd love to see the speedruns of Doric's quest. I think it'd be intense.
Milliseconds.
Fastest chef's assistant. 4 seconds.
Chef's assistant.
No, it's the same thing as how they pronounce Adidas. I mean, Adidas.
Have you ever heard him try and say Argos?
Argos.
Argos.
What?
That's when Chris first ordered
what?
a bed. He's like, I've ordered a new bed, it's coming from Argos.
Argos?
And we're like, where? Argos.
Well, no, because I said Argos. So I actually pronounced the R.
It's Argos.
Okay, we have another question. This one, I believe, has an image as well. Bengis says, potion barrels for player-owned houses. So he says, similar barrels that you'll find in Nightmare Zone. You could store these in your house. You could check, take, store, and consume potions. Consume obviously being the useful one there. Depending on your level, you can store up to from 30 up to 255 doses. Ranging all the way up to a rather high construction level.
I really like this idea. So you can have barrels of beer already in your house, right? But obviously they're not that useful. The beers generally aren't, but potions are. So imagine you go into a special room like a brewery in your house. You've got several barrels against the wall. You've got one for your prayer potions. You've got 255 doses of prayer potion in there. You can go up to it. You can drink a dose directly. You already went there and stored it up with all your potions from your inventory. Or you can go there with a vial, get some 4 doses out, that sort of thing. And I like that because it's a really nice way to store your doses of potions. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that low of a limit either. We could go high if we wanted.
How does this differ really from the pool? Because the higher level one requiring, because you could store even, you couldn't do health regen unless you did brews.
I imagine
It'd be a bit of a waste though, wouldn't it? Same with prayers, that'd be a waste because you could use it on.
Anti-venom?
Prayers are a bad example.
Anti-venom.
So you do your Zola trip, you teleport back, you click on your pool, you heal up, you take a dose of anti-venom from your barrel, help you with your Zola run, for example.
So
Stuff
really
like that.
the only difference between levels there is that you can simply store more doses.
You could also do like higher level potions as well, so like normal strength potion to super strength potion to
Super.
So okay,
Combat.
balancing aside, let's say that we decide on balancing that everybody's happy with. What do you think about the idea?
Really cool idea.
I like it, yeah.
What happens if you can mix potions in it as well? So you can have a barrel which has more than one effect.
Well, they just have more than one barrel.
Yeah, I know, but we're going to run out of space for barrels, aren't you? And you're like, well, which barrel is it? It's a 13th one over there. You know, we can start mixing them so you can have something which heals your, cures your poison and does what the Sour Brew does. the same time.
It gives
There's
herbivore
one
use.
that's clicked.
That's a good point. It does give herbivore more of a use. It's a very good
We
point.
could even do it with brewing as well, so you have to brew it into a drink to go in there, and then we can combine them all together.
Really hate brewing. We should stop trying to do brewing. It's not fun to test, and it's really. It
Have you ever tested brewing?
Yes.
When?
Pig swill.
You're calling his bluff.
Pig swill.
I don't
What's
believe
pig
you.
swill?
Is one of the. It's this really crappy beer that's from Bringing Home the Bacon, and it has been broken since release. Fun fact in RS3.
What's
That
it
one.
do?
I fixed it with a rewrite brewing.
When?
It was sitting in QA for over a year. It's not
Aha,
out.
it wasn't you, it was Maz.
There we go. No, I never said I fixed it.
Yeah, Jay.
I never said I
So
fixed
don't ruin
it.
it.
Okay.
Well, that's all right. We believe you, Jay. All right, it's fine.
All right. Sorry.
Okay, carry on. I think it's a great idea. I like the idea.
I think we should
Yeah.
offer it. Yeah, there's a few no's in the chat there, but you'll have your say if it does make its way to a poll anyway.
That'd be Paul.
Okay, next one again has an image. Mr. Netty says, farming expansion, livestock. Yields different, so this actually went very in-depth, and I definitely don't have the time to go through all of his images here, but to give you a quick rundown. Yields different materials, like unicorn horns, red spider eggs, etc. Depending on the creature, it could be purchasable from an NPC or perhaps hatched from an egg. You feed them food, give them liquids, and maybe even pet them for extra yield.
I absolutely love this idea.
Okay.
Look, I don't necessarily think it's going to fit nicely into the XP training side of farming. But what was mentioned earlier about making farming more rewarding, and I think that fits directly with that.
Yeah.
Like if you can suddenly grow your red spiders, and you get your red spiders' eggs as a harvestable farming loot, essentially. That's awesome. And you know what? It would work almost identically like farming. It just uses NPCs instead of locks.
You're right. So the real question is, this has been brought up before. However, instead of simply raising them and feeding them and petting them, you actually just killed them and took their stuff, right?
That's what happens.
That's what happens in farming.
Well,
That's life, Chris.
This is how life works. So they don't just give you red spiders' eggs. You go there, you grow 10 of them, you kill
And then
3
you
of them,
take
and
their
you breed
babies.
all the others.
Yeah.
right. So does this way of preserving life appeal more to the players? It seems so. What happens if you so you have a pen?
If you pet it enough, it'll just give you the red spiders'
So you have
eggs.
hang on. So you have a pen of cows, right? You
And then what you
from them
do?
for milk.
Could you invest in like making the
You
house
suddenly
like
decide I don't
comfier
want
for
them
them?
anymore, and you replace them with something else. What happens to the
Killing
cows?
method more quick.
Oh, yeah, so you can send the. It depends. I mean,
Do you
can kill
free them, maybe?
You can kill
They
them.
go
No, you
Door
don't
in their
free them. You kill them.
You free
can-
other people's ones, you know.
Yeah.
Chris,
Release
they
them.
go to cow heaven.
You can lose. You
raiding.
can lose farming
You can
XP
raid
by
other
freeing.
people's farms and take their animals.
What if we have cows in the paddock along with pigs and we mix them together? You get a
pig.
cow or a kig or a.
When you're killing
We
them,
can make new
Delicious.
animals.
if you do this in construction, so if you have like a house where you can rear them, you could have like you have to kill them manually, or you can build like a crushing device above them that you pull a lever and kill them all in one go, and you can upgrade it so it does more and more damage to the creatures, and you can like
more and more
mass
offensive as we go.
slaughter.
This is
like a
definitely
slaughter.
gonna
Yeah.
I love this idea though. I think it's got a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I think
I've
we
always-
make some fantastic
We'd
images.
really have to work at some of the design and make sure it works. But I think it's a perfect
Could you
way to
pillage
go and
other people's
expand
farms?
farming. It's a
Would
big
you lose
job,
XP?
though.
Would you like be
Pillage
like?
their farm. So you
Okay,
go to
nice.
someone
Yeah.
else's farm.
A nice
That
simple
sounds cool.
one would be to
Burn
have
the
a
house.
dairy cow in your playground house anyway. So you could always go there to milk and then do your butter churning, should anybody ever do that.
Add a butter churn section. Who does butter churning?
No one.
People were messaging me the other day saying it was really slow.
It
I
is.
think you get like 10 a minute.
But what? There's no point. What is the
You just got a
point?
colour around his
potatoes.
chest.
It's like 10 GB in the chest.
Because it's nice.
Yeah, but you can only get 10.
Oh, hang on. There's a moving on in the chat.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Let's get to it. Prague says, can we please bring back duel tournaments?
Okay.
Ash likes this idea. I
I
think
think
he'd
we're
like to
saving
work
it for
on that.
Zaya down in the
Yeah.
Colosseum type area, aren't we? I think that's
Potentially.
where we plan to do something with that.
Working Man says, what about making your quick prayer an F key option to toggle it on and off?
I like that too.
So this is really interesting.
Yeah.
If you don't have to double click your quick prayers to keep them on all the time, instead you can just do it with a key. That just sounds,
Then you could pray for like easily, yeah.
yeah, that's the thing.
What if you could bind your prayers to different keys?
This is opening a whole can of worms I do not want to be a part of right now.
We don't have many keys to play with without making the keyboard enter the chat.
It certainly would make
Yeah, that's true,
some
yeah.
parts of gameplay much more
Fair
easy.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think toggling on and off with some hotkey and F key, being able to select it would be good. But I don't think that it should. Can you imagine doing jab and F1 being mage and F2 being like range? I don't think that would ever.
How far does this go? Do you end up with F1 to turn spec on, F2 to press vengeance,
No.
F3 to press this prayer?
See,
Like,
I entirely agree.
F9 to kill them.
I think it should just be turn the quick prayers on and off, and we shouldn't expand into certain prayers or other things
Yeah.
like that. But for the most part, actually, people seem supportive of that, so we could offer it.
Although a lot of people are
See what
spamming
you
it.
They're saying stop EOC, but I was literally saying don't do that. So sure thing.
All right. Overload says, would you consider tweaking the drop tables of some of the raids bosses to drop potions or other stuff, the ones that currently drop nothing? So, for example, Vespula. What'd you think?
Why don't they drop anything? Like, why do some only drop overloads?
they could have some potions added, yeah.
They're meant to simply take time and resources, and you just get stuff at the end. But we decided to give Tacton something.
I don't see much harm in adding something.
Sorry,
Well-
like the additional, like the Onyx, sorry. I thought you meant like them
Well, no,
dropping overloads.
Rather, yeah, supplies.
Oh,
like
okay,
overloads,
alright.
prayer potions, etc. Just, I don't know which other ones do. If it is just Vespula that doesn't, then why
Imagine there was
doesn't
a
it?
reason that Ash
apparently.
plugged in only certain ones dropping them, but it's worth asking him.
Okay. Jack says, can you disable accept aid in player versus player worlds as you did for the wilderness?
Would
Someone
make
had me
sense too, then, if we
questioning
don't
why
will,
we
so.
didn't do PvP as well.
Why?
Yeah.
I think there probably was a reason at the time, but I can't remember what it was.
Is this to stop them using spec transfer? And
Yeah, so essentially if you have friends standing, say you're PKing just outside of the Grand Exchange, if you have a friend standing in the Grand Exchange, they can heal you and give you special and all that.
Okay, well, I
Very abusable.
think this will be fixed anyway. So I've did a change in that'll be coming out with the Deadman update, and that doesn't disable accept aid. But if you're stood in a single way zone, or your target stood in a single way zone, you cannot use one of those spells. Only in multi-combat can you do it then.
Oh, okay.
Which is obviously in multi-combat,
Yeah, that
you
solves
should be
that.
able to use it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Ricky says, will musicians ever be polled? He dared to ask for the rest option as well, but let's just say musicians.
For just energy restore or just for decoration?
It just doesn't sit right with me at all, musicians.
Doesn't feel right for the game, in my
We
opinion.
have stamina pots as well. We have like a very viable method of negating this problem.
Those cost money and
Oh
inventory.
yeah,
space.
exactly. But it's a profit. It gives profit to agility and herb law and.
There was another sort of
Lots of
method
those
discussed.
And I do think
Okay,
that,
well, I tried.
that musicians could, if we have musicians, they'd be
Ricky.
much better use than restoring your run energy. I think there's much better uses for the
Music.
idea of music in game.
Yeah.
Music skill.
And music skill. Yes, that's one of the things that was originally suggested when we did the player PDC for skills.
Definitely no.
I would like
Okay.
a rest of mode, but just not. That doesn't recharge energy any quicker. You just sit down.
Isn't there already Dream where you do this, like Luna?
Yeah, but you can't just do it wherever you. Well, you need to be on the Lunar spell. Just like the one on the the emotes panel.
Yeah.
That you can just sit down and just bank stand or
I'd like
bank
to
sit.
be able to sit on benches.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool.
You want to bring the bench
That
round as
reminds
well?
me.
I forget what we said. There's complications as to why we can't actually offer it.
When the
It's just awkward.
Every bench. needs-
the construction update, when the construction update came out, obviously that first let you sit down on benches and chairs, and the way they talked about that in the behind the scenes at the start of the month was, we're finally going to let you sit on chairs. No mention of the skill. They just said you're going to let you sit on chairs, rather than telling them about whole player-owned houses, which people were really excited about at the time.
Oh, there's a moving on to the chat. Thanks, guys. Tyler says, the preserved prayer scroll is only 81k. Do you have any plans to adjust it?
I don't think so. The preserve scroll is a lower level scroll. It's nowhere near as useful as like rigor and augury. So I think it's probably about where it really should be, to be honest.
All right. Spoon says, can we have an easier way of recharging Ivan's staff? Perhaps the Dark Mage or Zetamai?
Currently, you have to run all the way back to the centre of thingy to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably need to change that then. Seems a waste of.
I don't think for free though. Maybe like harder, RD Diary.
Yeah, RD Diary. Probably plug it into that. Oh wait, would it be because it's in between RD and Lecture? Which diary would you put it in?
Whichever one needs a bit more content.
You get there through RD.
Yeah.
So I'd go with RD.
Yeah. Okay.
So if people were saying through diary, then many people saying no, I guess. Okay, interesting.
Put up with the pass.
Epicness Dude says, can you allow players to obtain a new clue scroll if they have a reward casket of the same level? It would be cool to save up rewards in the bank and open a large number of them at once, like Wintertide crates.
Karem does it quite easily. She's got juggling them on the floor. Simple.
What?
You can drop a casket, get another clue scroll, do it, drop it on the floor, and keep juggling them.
Right.
And you can open up loads.
Can you
at
have the
once.
ability to store like 1,000 of them in your bank?
I mean, the stuff that we did when we first started streaming, doing the opening up of clue scrolls, that was super popular.
Yeah.
And it'd be great if players could
That's
do
a
that
good point.
as well.
No, because we need to save it for our own.
Yeah, we need to pull in viewers.
But no, that is
I
doable, I
want to see
believe.
loot from 1,000 clue scrolls.
Yeah. No, I'd quite like. I mean, yeah, I do like the whole chest opening thing and the rewards and what you get from it.
Right.
I think that'd be quite a nice thing for people to be able to enjoy.
All right.
Definitely.
Lord Sen says, will we see any progress updates from Fossil Island as it's being made?
Yep.
We're going to do sneak peeks of the weeks and tweets and all that, yeah?
Yep.
Yep. There you go.
Sorry, Inferno might not have as many.
The Inferno
We
one
ain't
might be quite
revealing
nice.
anything.
Yeah.
But, all right. Swaggerino says, can you make dodgy necklace work when blackjacking?
Didn't you specifically? Sorry, go on, Maz.
Probably yes, but do we want to?
The answer was yes.
Moving on.
No dev wants to. I can rest assured. Do you want to? You want to?
Well,
Or I can do it, or do you want to?
I can do it.
Okay. Well, we haven't actually decided whether we're going to or not.
We can,
Yeah.
but I do think the blackjacking code is the worst code I've seen in RuneScript.
It's
I've
so
heard that
bad.
so many times for so many different things, though.
There's a reason I didn't.
isn't that already like the fastest experience though? Would that just not make it faster?
Assume you stop failing at some point. Could be wrong on that.
Oh, possibly.
Well, okay. We'll
I
have to
don't
make a
blackjack.
decision based on our own opinions rather than Twitch chat.
I'm pretty sure
because-
most of the blackjacking behaviour works like it wasn't intended. It's just, I don't know. I can't be confident if I rewrote that code, it would have it act in the same way it does right now.
I have faith in you, Kieran. You can do it. Sarah says, will there be another competition like the Fight Caves? If so, can we have tournament worlds so everyone has a fair chance with max gear? So this was the only controversial thing with the tournament is simply people are saying, oh, well, this is limited to only those with a twisted bow and all that. So it's like we offer a nice competition to those who have taken the time to get themselves to the end game stuff in our game. But we, of course, don't let other players participate.
Well, we have like tiers. Like if you're less than 100 or less than combat 100, less than combat 120.
So there's also a kind of like there's a technical problem surrounding this as well. Like, how would you expect us to do it? If we had like tournament world, not tournament worlds, but like no save game worlds, we call them, where you log in, then you log out, and if it doesn't remember what happened, how are we going to track the score that you've gotten?
Data would have to be able to get it, and would have to make sure that we can still track who's got the best time and make sure they're legit.
Because there were some
essentially.
people photoshopping their times, and then we were like, no, you didn't get that. But
Yeah, we have to make sure it's legit times. But I think that is the way to do it, if we can do it like that,
Okay.
where you log in and you go on a speed run version of the Fight Caves and you get your twisted bow and everything. The problem is, part of the speed running is setting up, so doing it on a tournament will make sense because you get to go into that chest and choose whatever your setup is.
all right. Next question. Let's actually grab one from the chat. It's been a while. A day in the life of a JMod YouTube video from Young Jexy.
With a
That's what
tour.
he's asking for.
I think
With
that'd be
tour
quite a
of
cool
JX
thing to do
Studios.
when the refurb's done. Because I mean, you've seen that we've got a new studio and the refurb's going around the office. It'd be quite a cool thing to do a video of what the office now looks like. I think
Nearly
people
done.
enjoy that.
Yeah, there's a couple complications in terms of like obviously not showing certain content some people are working on.
Well, that's all right.
but-
We can get rid of that during the
Yeah,
edit, can't we?
we can find ways around it, I think.
We'll do that. Add it to your list, Chris.
It, of course, does rely on the JMods being willing So,
They'll be willing.
well, I'm going on a bathroom break
Will we?
now. You can wait outside.
You'll be willing, yeah.
Or interesting. Some days are really boring at work. And not boring, but
I
they're
think we
like...
don't have to do a single day, of course. What we can do is we can grab footage over the course of the week or a couple of weeks,
And then fake it.
piece together something which is interesting to watch.
I think it also
Most
just
of
be
the
like...
time, it's just people with headphones on going.
Quite.
Or if you sit next to Kieran, oh, blackjack! What?
Blackjack.
That's Jack King.
Kieran plays
Oh.
poker.
Play about some code or something that you see, which we get on a regular basis.
Like half the video for Matt will probably just be a camera outside of the meeting room and him going...
Pretty much it. With a pad which I'm doodling on. I mean, Neil's watching, writing on notes and stuff.
Manic says, will the Inferno have a Slayer/Jad task?
I will try and come up with something that works for that. I think it'd be nice if we can get that as a challenge for a slur test.
Yeah, sensible, isn't it?
Okay. Etney says, any chance to get the sword on the RuneScape logo, either a quest or a drop? Is it in RS3?
you go
I
ahead
think
and...
so, yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it's a good reward for next year's birthday event.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, good idea.
I concur.
Fifth birthday. That's pretty epic birthday,
Sorted.
5 years.
Yep.
All right, let's grab. I think I've got a couple left here. Beartho says, can we buff Sacred Eel fishing for the highest level fish? It's quite underwhelming.
Yeah, it needs buffing, and we've never got round to doing it.
Modder Rock was talking about this the other day with me. How he's, yeah, it's not better cash than some of the better cash methods. It's not the better experience for some of the better fishing trading methods. It's just kind of mediocre all round. So we can look into it.
All right. Last one I have, then we're just grabbing questions from the chat, guys. By the way, keep them coming. Destoy says, proposed rework of tablet redirection menu. Now, there's an image for this, but we weren't able to grab it. So go ahead and
Paint us a word picture.
paint us.
Paint you a picture. Essentially, using the scroll on a tablet, on a house tablet, would instead open an interface, and it would just simply have all the different locations you could teleport to, and you would be able to right-click it and just go make one, make X there, as opposed to using the chat box
Right.
stuff that we have, which obviously is a little bit kind of, oh, we don't have time to make an interface. Generally, we'll put that there. So I really like this idea. I don't know how long it'll take to make an interface, but it'll be from scratch. So, ETA?
It shouldn't be too hard at all.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Not tomorrow. Why tomorrow? It's Saturday.
Friday.
Friday.
Yes.
Not Saturday. Wow.
Somebody said crack the clue hint. It's been a while.
Oh, God.
Can we give them a hint?
It's been like 9 months.
No, it's just
They almost forgot about crack the clue.
It's a couple of months until it's been out for a year because it came out in March.
What
in
happens?
May,
What
wasn't it?
It
happens
was
in a year?
June or July.
Was it June or July?
So you get all the clues, and then you crack them.
So what did you say? Sorry, time. Clock tower?
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, I was thinking about what to do when it comes up to a year, and I've got a couple of things in mind of how we want to do it. I mean, I could give you the answer, but that seems a bit of a waste. But what I'd quite like to
think
do,
I'd
and I
like
haven't spoken to anybody about this, so this just may not happen. What I'd quite like to do is to go to a place where they dug the helmet up out of the ground. So the helmet's based on the helm of Raidwald, which was dug out of the ground, a place called Sutton Hoo, which is about an hour down the road from here. So I'd quite like to have a chat with the people who look after that area, because it's a conservation area, and see if we can maybe do a bit of charity work with them and get you guys to help them out in their the work that they do. Like I said, I haven't spoken to anybody about it yet. It's the first time I mentioned it to anyone, but it might not happen. But I'd quite like to do something
You look at
a
the
bit more focused on helping out these guys who are trying to look after the history of the world.
You look at the phases of the moon, their positions in the sky, and align them with the Cookin Lumbridge. You'll find it.
What was the? Remember when did you say something about scrambled eggs or something? They asked for a hint.
They asked for some advice, then I give them some advice on cooking good omelette.
Can you give them a single word, Matt?
A single word.
A single word. The next word out of your mouth is a hint.
Pressure.
He doesn't want to say anything.
Can't think of anything to say.
Should have said nature rune. They've already figured that
No,
out.
okay.
Yeah, nature rune.
No, I'm getting a hint. I haven't given a hint before, so no one's getting a hint.
Good job, man.
Let's grab a few more from the chat. We've got a few more minutes in the stream. Slayer says, can we see a buff to the warrior ring? Suggested buff being +6 / attack and defense. Imbued being +12 / attack and defense. This balance the warrior ring versus other rings dropped by the DKs. He's asking for a Stravel. Everybody asked for a Stravel with their question.
I'm going to check how many rings he has on his account.
Yeah. Slayer 5001.
Everyone in the chat's like, it's a merch.
Panic buy.
Saw a comment on last Q&A before we went live saying, I'm already ready at the Grand Exchange. Can't wait for the Q&A. The warrior ring's not bad. I like it. I don't know.
How much is the warrior ring now?
Cheap.
Yeah.
That much.
Just keep in mind, buffing it to the equivalency of a berserker ring is possibly not something that players might. Well, I definitely think they'll
Unless
want.
they have a lot of them, then.
Yeah. Well, maybe players might want it, but
Yeah.
balancing wise, it's not the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Watch says, can you add kill counts to high scores? Monmaz says, yes, with web work.
Thanks, Maz.
There you go.
It's
Think that might just be our
we
answer.
already did a big job transferring all our boss kill data and slayer kills data onto full variables, which can be used for the high scores. And it's a matter of just adding a couple of lines to those configs for us. But web need to do some work, otherwise it launches with no picture and stuff, and they need to upload a little icon. That's one job that might take us a little while if we want a custom boss icon for all of them.
Yeah.
But I think we might want to go with just a generic boss icon,
Yeah, probably.
other than making 30 little 18 by 18 pixel icons.
Yeah, they'll become intelligible at some point. It'd be just like a mass of pixels, especially for things like Venonitis and stuff like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, Web's working on a number of rather large projects at the moment, which I can't tell you about that one. Mobile responsive websites is something they're working on at the moment, I think, which is something which is obviously really important, and a few other bits and bobs that you'll find out in the fullness of time. But yeah, so it's not a case that it's an easy thing to do for their time either.
Okay. Illustrious says, can you add enchantment tablets or the equivalent to the clue scroll drop table?
Enchantment tablets.
I don't get it.
As in jewelry enchantment tablets? Like enchant
my
ruby
guess.
jewelry?
To the clue scroll drop table? I mean, it makes sense to go through
Is
that, I
it useful?
suppose.
Are they useful? I suppose so.
Well, sure, yeah, if you
I
enchant.
mean, it's
a
quite a low
bunch of
magic level for most
quarries.
of them.
Don't they already exist, enchantment tablets?
Yeah. No, there's a scroll.
No, enchantment tablets is in you smash it and you enchant jewelry.
I thought it was a scroll. Maybe I'm wrong.
There's a
That's
scroll for-
charge jewelry.
There's one for
Oh,
Dragonstone.
yeah, you're
There's
right.
one for charging. That's why I'm confused with the question, because he's asking for enchant jewelry, but tabs already exist where you smash it and turn, like, enchant sapphire, right?
Maybe it's just asking for them to be added to the clue scroll table then.
Perhaps. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why specifically the clue scroll table? It's such a random specific item. It's like, what can potatoes be added to the clue scroll table? It's like, I'm not sure really the context of the question.
I mean, yeah, please do explain why.
Someone just said Iron Man, but
Well, the chances of us actually reading what you have to say right now are
Lazy Iron Man.
Level 3 Iron Men.
as you said, like Dragonstone and
we
Charms.
have time for maybe one more question. Cone says, can we get more death runes for your overgrown cat? It takes over 8 hours to grow your cat, and you only get 35k or 70k with the diary. Can we get more death runes scaling up with your diary task?
We don't want to encourage. A cat is for life, not just for Christmas. You can't go and convert them to death runes. It's cruel.
You give them less for being greedy. Just keep their cats.
Yeah. What's your RuneScape name? You get none.
Control Z, Maz. Control Z.
Don't read out that name.
Our eyes are on you.
Can the bush next to the fairy ring be removed when teleporting to the Legends Guild? Oh, this was a popular one this week.
We should have another one on the opposite side.
Is this because
Why is that bush there?
That bush.
we could get rid of it?
Just put that bush there.
I did not put the bush there.
put
The
that
bush was
bush
always there.
It wasn't always there.
It was, I promise.
You just swapped it for a different one.
Can we get rid of it?
We'll swap it for a 2x2 bush.
Can we literally just get rid of
Yes,
that?
we can delete
Okay,
the bush.
thank you. There
Replace
we
it with a
go.
tree.
I would rather move it further in the way. Someone put a post on Reddit and I just plopped loads of willow trees down in the way.
Actually,
It's like, is this better?
You put down another 8 so that they have to run all the way around to get to the behind part of it, yeah.
I'm sorry, it's engine.
Web team
That
needs
is-
to...
We need to collect data.
Open map file, one right click to delete it, it's done, right? It can be done.
There are so many questions in the chat.
Is there any
Anybody want to quick fire some of these?
Why are there no toilets in RuneScape? There is a toilet in RuneScape.
Yes.
There is one.
Yeah.
Soon to be two.
Soon to be 2.
Soon to be 2.
Oh.
It's inside of Hasidius? There you go.
With the possibility of a fire cape rug coming out, could we get a ring of fire cape which transforms you into a fire cape on the floor?
Of all of the questions,
What?
Sure, why not? Next
Why?
one. Mint Poonage says, can we get higher Slayer monsters above level 93 Slayer?
Definitely.
One day.
Yeah.
I'd love to add some more.
Can we get good access to Rune Pouch on an Iron Man since we get nothing from Bounty Hunter?
If only that we could add it to the mage arena somewhere.
yeah,
That'd be really
sorted.
Icy Doom, in Deadman mode, some untradeable items are lost when you die, like the Spear KP and Shazian Armour, and you can't put them in the deposit box. Thank you.
That wasn't a question.
There wasn't a question, no.
Moving on.
Okay.
Faded Wing.
Just skipping it.
Well, you know, we asked for questions, yeah. Can the portal status icon for pest control portals be changed? The shields blend in with the colour of the ground.
Yeah, I think we could put
Yeah.
more of a background on that overlay, and you'd be able to see it a little bit easier.
Mads Rimmer, would it be possible to make like a game list for quest items to note themselves as dead items after you've completed the quest and have no use for it after?
Why don't do this?
Not for members.
I mean,
quests.
I'm not going to lie. We're in a game, and we're in a development cycle that really we've had one quest in 4 years. You're probably not going to need that quest item from Sheep Shearer ever again, or from Morning's End Part 2.
Generally, our precedent would be if we're making a new quest which needs a quest item that you got from our previous one, we'll probably make it easy to get.
Yeah.
It's more just for completionists who don't want to let go of something, and you need to just let go.
Yes, there are
That's our message. Let go.
charities out there who can help you with this.
There are
If you've been affected by any of the issues discussed in this Q&A, the phone number's at the bottom.
I once had
not.
somebody ask for. Somebody said my bank space is entirely full. There is not enough at all. And I went on his account and looked up, and he had about 350 spaces of just quest junk.
Drop it.
Yeah.
And I'm
And I
like,
don't understand. How can you run out of bags? We got 800.
it's
So many.
It's like the reason they run out is because they keep these quest items thinking it might come useful one day. It's just not.
Okay, that is going to conclude today's Q&A. Wow. Great memes today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for watching, and we'll join you next week.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.